Have you ever wondered if OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT and GPT-4, might not survive the next tech revolution?
What if we told you the very innovations and growth that have made OpenAI a household name are also fueling its most dangerous threats?
That's right. Today, we're diving into the existential questions facing OpenAI right now and why their latest moves may not be enough to save them. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel,
And let us know in the comments what you think.
Is OpenAI going to dominate forever, or are they walking a tightrope that could snap at any moment? Alright, let's get into it. So, OpenAI's story is one of meteoric growth and jaw-dropping advances. In just a few years, they've launched some of the most influential AI models on the planet. ChatGPT has become the default chatbot for millions and a go-to tool for businesses and individuals looking for a productivity boost. But success comes at a cost, and recent discussions among industry experts are raising red flags about OpenAI's future. In a recent episode of Equity, the insider podcast that breaks down Silicon Valley's biggest moves, the hosts zeroed in on OpenAI's latest acquisitions and asked a bold question: are they really solving OpenAI's existential problems or just kicking the can down the road? Let's break that down. OpenAI recently announced a handful of acquisitions aimed at shoring up its position in the fiercely competitive AI landscape. On paper, these sound like smart moves, absorbing smaller startups with unique tech, fresh talent, and new tools to bring into the OpenAI fold. But is this going to keep OpenAI relevant long-term, or are there bigger threats lurking under the surface? There are two big existential issues that keep coming up. First, dependence on outside data and infrastructure. And second, maintaining a competitive edge. Let's tackle the first one: data and infrastructure. Right now, OpenAI is incredibly dependent on access to huge data sets and massive compute resources. Most of their technology relies on cloud infrastructure provided by third-party giants like Microsoft. Sure, Microsoft is a major investor and partner, but that's a double-edged sword. If Microsoft ever decided to turn off the tap, or if OpenAI's needs start conflicting with Microsoft's own ambitions, things could get dicey very fast. What about data? The AI models that wow us require enormous amounts of fresh, high-quality training data. As we've seen, the legal landscape around data is changing quickly. Creators, publishers, and tech platforms are fighting back against wholesale data scraping, and some have launched lawsuits or pulled their data from training sets. If OpenAI can't keep getting the data they need, their models will start to stagnate. That's an existential threat. Now, let's talk about the second problem: the growing competition. When OpenAI first launched GPT-3, it felt like magic. Nobody else had anything close. But now, Google's Gemini, Meta's Llama, Anthropic's Claude, and a wave of open-source models are fighting for mindshare. Talent in the AI industry is jumping around constantly, and the knowledge gap that used to give OpenAI a decade-long head start is narrowing to years or even months. Here's where things get interesting. OpenAI's latest acquisitions are supposed to help address these issues, at least a little. They're picking up startups in areas like data, infrastructure, and crucially, new talent. But will these moves fundamentally shift the balance? Or are they stopgap measures? Think about it. When you buy a data-focused startup, you get some proprietary tech and maybe access to a niche dataset. But is that enough to overcome the soaring costs? And hiring brilliant engineers is always great, but are a few teams enough to withstand Apple, Google, or a globally distributed open-source army? Let's say OpenAI acquires a team that's built a tool for more efficiently crawling the web. That might help for a while, but eventually, quality and scale become issues. Legal roadblocks start piling up. Meanwhile, the very competitors you're trying to outrace are developing different solutions and sharing them in the open. Some experts suggest OpenAI, despite being valued at tens of billions, could be overtaken by a scrappy open-source collective or a big tech company with better infrastructure. Remember, BlackBerry once defined smartphones, Blockbuster once ruled video rentals. Big shifts happen fast, and OpenAI knows it. So, does acquiring small fish really help you when you're swimming with sharks? At best, these moves gain OpenAI some breathing room. At worst, they're little more than band-aids, not a real solution to existential risks. The big picture worry is that OpenAI's strategy may be focused too much on the short term: hiring, buying, and integrating talent or tools. The truly existential questions about owning data pipelines and controlling infrastructure are much bigger, and they require fundamental changes to how OpenAI operates. What's the lesson here? For anyone watching the AI race, OpenAI's story is a warning and an opportunity. In tech, today's leader can become tomorrow's cautionary tale fast. If OpenAI can't secure its own future, all the world-changing AI demos won't matter. On the flip side, if they do figure it out, they could still define the next decade. So, what do you think? Are OpenAI's latest acquisitions a sign of confident growth or a scramble for survival? Drop your thoughts below. We read every comment. And before you go, don't miss the related video up in the corner. If you're serious about understanding how AI is going to reshape business, and if you want to stay ahead of these seismic shifts, make sure you check it out. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.